I am not going to lie, guys. This video right here that I'm going to react to, it's really deep. It's definitely a tearjerker. Check out his original video. I'm going to leave it down in the description. Let's get straight to the video.
If I could go back in time and teach my 20-something self one very valuable lesson that could have transformed the last 4 decades of my life, it would be this one simple thing: live below your means. Now, I know that sounds really simple and contrite and whatever, and financial gurus tell us to do this all the time, and certainly my parents lived this way. They modeled this for me throughout my life. But I was young, and I was newly married, and I had a couple of kids, and I was stupid. I was just stupid. And we lived way beyond our means for the longest time. And when I think about what it cost me, not money. Money's never been important. Very important. But when I think about the heartbreak and the stress and the anxiety and the lost opportunities and the dreams that never happened because I had strapped us to a debt wheel so massive, there were times we couldn't breathe.
Wow. The vulnerability of him going out there and saying what he said. And I'm going to tell you this right now. He is right. Everyone in finance is always talking about to live below your means. And you don't know how many times when I say that in the video, people just destroy me for that. Truthfully, people just destroy you for something that simple because people think life is way more complicated. Like it needs to be this complicated, type of equation you need to solve in order to build wealth or to live a happier, freer life. And especially if you go on TikTok and you say that, oh my Lord, they'll destroy you all over TikTok. But I'm going to tell you this. When it's all said and done, when you stop playing those games and you stop the shenanigan, and you stop with the whole quick rich, schemes, and you just stop trying to get quick, right away. The whole microwave lifestyle people want to have. Once you stop and you recognize, and because it's the true answer to your solution, right, and to the problem you're having right now, the true answer is to live below your means. And once you calm your ass down and you pay attention to that phrase and you understand what that phrase really truly means and the fact of that you can do it. So many people are saying, how? Because of no, 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 no. Throughout time, life has been hard. It's been hard for everybody, okay? This whole boomers had it easy. No, life is hard for everybody. We live in a time now where we have way more opportunities to build wealth than the boomers. The boomers just went from 9 to 5, they got a pension, they were starter homes when they bought homes, and all of a sudden, we think like they had it made. But they bought starter homes. We don't have starter homes now, I get that. But we don't want starter homes. We want big homes, right? We don't want 2 bedrooms. We don't want to have our kids sleeping in bunk beds. No, we want them to each have their own bedroom. You see, we want big stuff. And then once we recognize we can't have it, oh, we're going to complain and bitch and moan. But the thing with life, guys, is this. Live below your means. It does not mean you're settling in life. I understand. During these times, when you settle, you get called weak. You have people on social media calling you all these things, and you feel like you're a loser. You're not, because the person that always wins in life is the person that's patient and they're disciplined and they're consistent. Consistency saving and investing. It doesn't need to be $1 million. You don't need to be a wealthy person in order to invest. You could put as little as $5 a month and little throughout time start gradually adding more and more. It will work. Eventually you will hit wealth. And if you don't hit this imaginary number that you want to hit, the fact is that you're living below your means, not just financially, on everything on life. And like, for example, eating out and stuff like that. You live below, you eat, you eat fast food, yes, but not every freaking single day. You say, you know what, here and there, eat fast food, whatever. You drink here and there, a drink. You go to the gym, you don't be excessive with all these things, you will win. Because in the end, just because you think, I need $1 million to retire, but if we do all the right things, you might not need $1 million. You might have no debt. Your expenses might be really low. You might have a paid off house because you're just being consistent and you're living below your means and you're happy and you're satisfied with what you have. And I get it, man. In America, they don't want you to just be satisfied with what you have. They want you to go for it and go for it and chase it and chase it. And there's no ceiling to that. There's no ceiling. You're chasing happiness and it never gets there because you're just living way below, you're living way above your means. You're getting credit cards, buy now, pay later. You need to have pictures on Instagram letting people know what you're doing. That's not life. That is not life at all. And what he said hit me the hardest. And if you don't, even if you have kids and you recognize, yo, I put my family in a bad situation financially, because I have all this debt, I gotta tell them no way more often than I feel comfortable with. I wish I could tell them yes more often. And hey, just because you're someone right now that don't have kids, you're still saying no to taking care of your ailing parents who need help financially. Because the majority of parents need help. You're saying no to that. You're saying no to so many things in life that's really, really important that you really wish you could contribute and can help because of the fact of you not living below your means. And the beautiful thing about this is you could change that at any moment. You could start now, slowing down, cutting back for a few months, right? I know people say the latte effect. Fuck the latte effect. You might need to do it for 2 or 3 months, right? To just be really strict, say, you know what? I'm gonna be disciplined for 3 months so I could get to a point where I could live below my means. Where I could get to a point where instead of every time I do a budget, I'm negative $300 to now, every time I do a budget, I'm positive $100. Oh, but that's not a lot. Oh, yes, it is. It's because now you're not so stressed out. You're not going to work freaking out every single time. Now you're going to work, you feel good about yourself because you see progress. You see you're living below your means and things are going to get better. And then all that no you were saying temporarily opens up the door for you to say yes to all the other things in life. Not everything, right? Because in life, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything. There's certain things you can start saying yes to, but it doesn't mean you say yes to everything. There's some things you still say no to. So that's why that message is really powerful. And I don't care, guys. As long as I continue to do finance videos and reaction videos and stuff, I'm always going to say how powerful that message, live below your means, really means. Okay? That message is extremely powerful. And, I know people don't like it. They want to fight with it. But when it's all said and done, the smoke clears, you're the one that has to live in retirement age having to work. And what you're going to do is not take advice from people like him, right? Which is, I wish I lived below my means. You're going to keep on ignoring it because life is hard now, whatever. Okay. But you're going to get to a point in life where it's going to be too late. You can't do all those things that you wanted to do and other things that you put in the back burner. And then that's when you'll recognize, like, shit, I should have done what he said. And at that time, it will be too late. So please take heed to what he said. Hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Check out his full video. I'm going to put it down in the description. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.